No, the part of the Lego games is that you have to lose so many times. It's like character building. And then they used a lot of SFX too, and so there was a lot of fake blood. And so the production assistants spent most of the set like scrubbing fake blood off, having that kind of authority position. But I also like the creative. I know, it sounds bad. And so they're playing a chess game, and it's supposed to be like a metaphor for like death and like what happens after life.
And how old are you?
15. I know.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Jordan Whitrock Show. I'm your host, Jordan Whitrock, and today we have a very special guest. It's someone, we talked about earlier before this episode how like you just meet people in random places, and we both ended up meeting each other auditioning for the SCAD Savannah Film Festival as a moderator. But then later you would find out that she is literally like kick-ass film director and TV director. And so I'm so thankful to have this opportunity to have her on the show to not only learn about her, but just to pick her brain and her talent. So without further ado, let's welcome to the show, Amelia Tankenson.
Ooh, thanks for having me on the show.
It's so crazy because I remember meeting you.
Yes.
For that, I think I was late too. And I showed up to the callback for the Savannah Film Festival moderator thing. And I remember leaving, and I think we must have left at the same time.
Yeah.
Or
I was lingering outside. I don't know why either. I was just like, I started talking to people, and then like a little group of us formed.
Yeah, it's so funny. And I feel what was that been, like week 2 or 3 of the quarter?
Yeah.
And I just remember talking and being like, wait, okay, this is someone that's like in a different department. Like,
yes.
I need to learn about what this department is compared to this department and whatnot. But that would have been because you're a senior this year at SCAD.
Yes.
So was that something you've done before, or?
No, that was the first time I've ever done that. It was one of those things where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm graduating. And like, I felt like this year I had to do more or like try out for more things because I hadn't done anything before. So I was like, throwing caution to the wind, and I was like, I could moderate a panel. Why not? No experience.
No, honestly, I was so terrified. I was like, please, if I even get this, just let me be like, and this is the movie you're watching.
Oh yeah.
I was like, but no, it was all fun and games or whatnot. But it was, I think what's been fun is like as you meet people like that, especially early on. Yeah. And then maybe you just never see each other again for like a good period of time, but you kind of get to like live through Instagram to like see what they're doing or what they're up to. And I think like you were one of those where I'm like, like Amelia's doing this now, and I think maybe shortly after you're like, hey, if it works in your schedule, would you ever want to like be a part of this late night show that I'm taking on and whatnot? But we'll definitely get into that. But at first I'm just curious, like, I think when you make a decision, you want to be a film director, especially like there has to be like something or a moment, or like maybe you were younger and you were like, I just loved working with a camera, what was that thing for you, that drive that like took you to film?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I feel like it was like a collection of moments, but I grew up in LA. So I'm born and raised from LA. And growing up, I kind of grew up around that, but in a different side. My parents work in animation. And so I grew up watching like classic movies and everything like that, but I was really into cameras, and my grandfather really loved like supporting my passions and things like that. So when I was 4 years old, he gifted me like a really nice camera, which is really weird to give a 4-year-old.
That's actually crazy.
Because you're like, should we be giving her this like Sony, this little Sony point and shoot?
My parents being like, you can't hold the family camcorder because you're gonna break it.
Yeah, no, it was the opposite. That he gave it to me, and everyone was like, what are you doing? Like, this is an expensive piece of equipment. And I loved it. I was obsessed with it.
Yep.
And I was actually like taking photos and things like that. And I, not to like say I was pretty good, but like I was like, I'm pretty good for a 4-year-old. Like, I got the family pictures down. And so I did that. And then when like the iPad came out, like the first generation of Apple iPad, my dad got one, and it had like this like stop motion app on it. And I used to take and I would make like little stop motion videos of like my Legos or like my stuffed animals.
Okay, wait. So I only asked because I definitely went through the phase of like trying to make stop motion with Legos. Like I think a lot of people did. No. But my version was like picture. Is that, but then I had to like put it in an editing whatever option that your phone provided to like make it in a sequence. Was this like app like actually just like in the app you just took the picture?
Yeah. It was like
so
it was
cool.
I don't even know what app it was. It was like some in-app thing, and you would take the photos and stuff and it would make it for you.
Wow.
So
are we able to like see them somewhere?
Oh my gosh. I have one of the original ones still.
Where can we find it? Can we watch it at some point?
I could send it to you. I have it. Yeah.
Dude, I did you go through a stop motion phase?
I did.
Like were you, not even just you making it, but you watching it?
Yes. But I was terrified of it when I was a kid.
Really?
It was like one of those like irrational fears you have. I was really scared of stop motion.
Why?
I don't know. I think it was like, oh gosh. I grew up around a lot of like Tim Burton stop motion, like that kind of stop motion, and the one that scared me the most was Frankenweenie.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on that
one.
Like
Nightmare Before Christmas. Oh my god, what's it?
Yeah.
Oogie Boogie. Like,
yeah.
Terrified.
You know what's crazy? I like just watched that for the first time like a year ago.
Are you serious? That's such a good movie.
And okay, we also have Mike in studio. He actually turned back around to look at me like I'm crazy. No, like I think it was
what?
I think it's just like my parents saw it and was like, I don't know if this is gonna be good for the kids, so we just never watched it. And then like 2 or 3 years ago, my younger siblings, like it was like Halloween or Christmas or something, and it was just in the theaters for just like a day, and they're like, oh, let's do like a sibling date and go to the movie. And so they went to the movie, and then they were like, this is like the best movie ever.
Yes.
And so then like ever since that, then like they came home, and it must have been that must have been like Halloween, because then Christmas came around, and then we like watched it for Christmas. And I was like, wait, this is actually a really good movie.
No, it's so good. Oh my gosh, I feel like I watch it like at least a few times a year, but when I was little, horrified of it.
Yeah, I got really into like Lego War stop motion.
Like, Lego Wars.
Like, well, and then it must have been stop motion that was like got me interested in it, and then it switched to like Marvel Universe stop motion, and then I was like, wait, and it was like Marvel versus DC, and like I loved those, and then it switched to like Lego like true animation. Of like, I don't even know what it's called, because I wouldn't necessarily say it's animation, but it's just quiet. Like, but I really liked that. I was like, wait, this is fire. I wish I could do this.
No, that's exactly my path. That you're speaking my language.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. No, I love the Legos as a kid and stuff like that. The Lego video games.
What was your favorite?
Lego Star Wars.
Which one?
It was the rebooted one. So 2015. It was Lego Star Wars, like right after The Force Awakens came out.
Is that? I'm trying to think. Wait, I'm just like blanking. No, because that would have been. Did we get that? Because I know they have the Saga, right? I'm thinking Wii. What console was it on? Xbox, which I guess would probably be the same. But they had the Saga, which came out way earlier.
Yes, yeah.
And then they had like Star Wars 3, which was like the
Lego
third.
Star Wars 3 was amazing.
Yes,
I remember
that's not
playing
the one you're talking about, right?
Revenge of the Sith.
That was
awesome.
That's arguably the best one.
That one, I loved that one.
That one was incredible.
And then, what's the one you're talking about? Was it the Saga?
No,
because that one came out like in 20-something.
It came out pretty later. Like it was like 2015, 2016, and it was The Force Awakens, but they would take you through some of the saga too.
Okay. Wait, Mike, look this up right now because I need to see a picture. I never knew this existed.
Yeah.
Like you're actually blowing my mind right now. I just thought it was like boom, boom, and then we waited 20 years for we waited like 10 years for the other one, but I didn't know this existed.
No, it started with like, you had like Rey and like Poe and everything, and then it would like, I don't know, you would go to
Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga.
No, that was the one that from like 20-something.
Okay, let's
look up 20, like put like 2014 or 15.
It had to be 2015.
Oh wait, okay, I'm seeing.
Yeah, there is Lego.
I had no idea.
There is Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
For PS4.
I wonder if it was a PlayStation, Xbox kind of thing.
Yeah.
Probably, most likely.
Just wasn't on.
Wii.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Okay, that's sick. Okay, so that was your favorite game.
That was like the Lego game I played.
Honestly, I think mine was Pirates of the Caribbean.
See, that's good.
I'm just like thinking of all the ones that we played the most. I think we played Pirates of the Caribbean the most.
I'm like playing them now. Which I know they're like built for kids, but I've like gone back to them.
Did you play the newest Lego game?
No, I haven't.
Okay,
the Lego Batman?
No, I'm talking the new Star Wars one that came out.
Okay, from a few years ago. No, I haven't yet.
Because what I heard was that one was very kid
Okay.
Like they took away the challenge because they were just like, you had that target audience. And I'm like, no, I want to sit there for 6 hours trying to jump over this wall, not to realize that if I just went the other way on the map, there was just like a doorway to enter.
Oh yeah. No, the part of the Lego games is that you have to lose so many times. It's like character building. I was horrible at it.
Speaking of Star Wars,
go for it.
There was you guys might be a little too young for this one, but there was a TV show back in the day.
Okay.
I forget what it was called, but they took like video game characters and they did like music videos of actual songs. And for Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, for the PS3 game, I think it was.
Okay.
They did a music video for the Franz Ferdinand "Take Me Out" song. And Anakin, it's all done by video game, and Anakin's singing the song, and it's pretty dope. It's so cool, and I remember I used to love that show like religiously.
Were you someone that loved Star Wars, or just you were like, oh no, I just like this world?
No, I loved Star Wars. I grew up on Star Wars. That was like my dad.
When were you introduced?
Not super young. I think I was probably like 7 or 8, maybe.
What grade does that put you in? 4K, kindergarten, first, second?
Yeah, fourth grade, fourth grade. Yeah. And so it was like when the new generation of Star Wars came out. That was
I think that's when I was
formative years.
Yeah, because I remember my mom, which is crazy. Like when I think of like my mom, I was like, what? I can't believe she introduced me to Star Wars kind of vibes. And I just like, I think it was just because it was such a big cultural icon.
Oh yeah.
Of that time period that like, even if you didn't love it, you were like, nah, you still have to watch this to understand culture, But I remember watching it, and then that changed my life. And then I was just like that kid that always wanted a lightsaber. It's like always was like playing whatever, and whatnot. And then like the video games, when we got access to video games, it was like, okay, we're playing all the Star Wars video games that we can find. But no, like, I mean, in my old room, I'm missing Revenge of the Sith, but otherwise I have all, well, hold up. Do you like the sequel films?
I do.
Okay.
I am. I appreciate them. I have like a soft spot for them.
I liked the first one, and then the other two I was like, yeah, I could care less for. But
that's fair.
What I was gonna say is I have the first 5, and I'm missing Revenge of the Sith to finalize my 6. But I found them all in like comic book stores, so I'm like, I can't just order this last one. I'm like, I just have to, like, when I go buy a comic book store, I just have to go see if they have posters, dig through, and then so the day that I find it, I'll finally have my complete set. But
are you originals or prequels? It's a big question.
Okay, interesting. I think I was always prequels.
Okay.
And I think it's because when I really got into them, like I found the Phantom Menace. I got a VHS tape of it at like a garage sale, and so then that would be the one I'd watch all the time. So that one has a soft spot for me. I don't know if that's necessarily my favorite one out of those 3. However, we just rewatched. My brother, youngest sister, just watched for the first time, but my brother, her, and I watched those 6. And I don't know, like, I'm like the original. I'm like,
I think the prequels get a bad rep for whatever reason. And
but the original, I'm like, is way better than I remembered. Yeah. Like, I gotta give it credit where credit's due, especially at that time period. I'm like,
it's insane. Like
the prequels came out when I was in like 4th grade or whatever, and
no, that's fascinating. Okay, so you're falling in love with filming before you're taking videos. Now you're doing stop motion. Yeah. What's that next stage then as you keep moving?
It was probably theater. I grew up in theater and being on stage. I was a dancer. Oh. And so, everyone, when they're a kid, I was like, I want to be an actress.
Okay.
And so that was kind of my first step into it. And then when I realized that I didn't want to be an actress, I realized I wanted to be a director. Got
you. Before we leave this, dancing, was it something that you really loved? Was something that you were just kind of put into?
Oh, no, I loved it. Okay. It was weird how I got into it. It was, they had this, when I was little, they had this like carnival or like a festival that would happen on my street every year. Huh. And all the local small businesses would come in and like advertise. And when I was, I think again, I was like 4 years old. When I was 4 years old, they had like a ballerina, like who was walking around and like handing out flyers. Okay. And I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do. Yep. And so my mom put me in dance classes, and the first dance class she put me in, I like came out and I was like, no, I want the real dance. I was like, no, this is not the real dance. And so she put me in Russian Vaganova ballet.
Oh, wow.
And that was where I stayed for 10 years.
So were you ballet only, or did you do other styles?
I was mostly ballet,
Okay.
but I did jazz,
Yep.
contemporary,
Okay.
a little bit of modern.
Well, because I've talked to actual dancers who like want to do it for their career,
Yeah.
and they say that like at a point you have to make a decision, or like your
Yes.
teacher will be like, so you either choose ballet or everything else.
We were a little different. I mean, ballet was like the strongest one. My sister's a dancer.
Okay,
That's
yep.
her major as well. But, you know, with ballet, they want you to take some other styles too because
Okay.
it improves your
Yes,
kind of technique
for
and
sure.
things like that. But it was like hardcore 5 days a week.
How long did you do it for?
10 years.
Wow.
But I still work for them. Yeah.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah.
So then you decide directing's your route.
Yes.
And what year is that then? How old
Oh
are
my
you?
gosh. Maybe 13, 14.
That's crazy. That's so cool.
Yeah. I realized I liked it. I liked having that kind of authority position. But I also like the creative. I know it sounds bad, but
No, that's real though. Like,
yeah.
I
I love working with actors.
say you just also you need to have that to be a director.
Yeah.
You can't be a pushover. You got to have a vision and like, no, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know, be that authoritative
Yeah.
voice. So at 13, so are you making your own short films then as you're growing up, or?
I'm a little bit. I would do like those parody music video, like,
Yep.
you know, like
Yep.
Video Star and that
Yep.
kind of thing. And then, you know, when I had a phone and things like that, we'd record like little skits here and there.
Okay.
And then I made my first like real short film when I was 15.
Got you. What was that about?
Oh, it was terrible. It was, what was it about? It was a part of this camp I was at that kind of like taught you how to do film
yep.
and things. And our first thing was it had to be a single shot from a single direction
Wow.
for 2 minutes. And it was just dialogue based. And it was a couple playing a chess game, but the conversation they're having is like about life and like life and death. And so they're playing a chess game and it's supposed to be like a metaphor for like death and like what happens after life.
And how old are you?
15. I know.
That's so cool.
So you can imagine how good quality it was.
Yeah, the camp counselor's like, oh.
Yeah.
We're going to have to let your parents know. No.
No, I know. I was like, they were like, okay, we like told you to like film in a park. No.
So you're in high school. Did your high school have like a film? Like my high school, I
Yeah.
think of the only use of a camera would be if you were part of the school yearbook. Like,
Yeah.
That's the only opportunity you would even have to have a camera, let alone it's probably not videoed, it's just photoed. Did you have like kind of like a mini film department, or did you go to an art school, high school?
So I didn't go. I went to an all-girls Catholic school, but our campus was shared with the American Film Institute. And so they were above, we were below, and they only 1 year they did it. They had a film class 1 year, which was my junior year of high school.
Wow.
And then that teacher ended up leaving, but that was the one time they did it. So I did photography, I
Okay.
worked with yearbook, that
Yep.
kind of thing.
Yep.
But yeah, film class, they had the one film class, and then my school was really great about kind of letting me take my
Okay.
film in different directions.
Yep.
So when I worked on the student council board, I was their head of media. And so I got to do film there. And then I would help out with yearbook. And then I took AP art. And my AP art teacher actually ended up like helping me kind of tune my portfolio to be photography film.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Got you. That's so cool. I also had one film class in
Yeah.
high school, and I think I took it junior year. I think you normally take it senior year, but just on like how my credits or whatever was lined up, I had the opportunity to take it junior year, and that was the class that was like, oh yeah, no, this is a career. Like,
Yeah.
why would I do anything else? And the kind of vibe, or if I could afford to, why would I do everything? And then 2 movies, and those are the only 2 that are hung right now, is Blade Runner 2019,
love.
and which is cool because I watched that in 2019.
Yeah.
So I think like there's like part of that where it's like, oh, that's so cool to like a film that was filmed so long
Yeah.
ago that was like, this is what it's gonna be like, and you're there at that year, you know, kind of like Back to the Future when they do that in the second one, and then Casablanca was the black and white film that I was like, so this is like where we started, and now we're here, you know, to have that like appreciation of like those camera tricks or the directing tricks that they did back then, because they didn't have CGI to the level that we do now, you know. And I was just like, it's such a great appreciation for the art that those people had, as like now I'm looking at people who went to the Star Wars movie that just came out and they're like,
yes,
how have we regressed from the 80s and 70s in animation, you know. And I haven't seen it yet, so I can't.
I haven't either.
But I'm like I don't know, like we came from the Terminator. I'm like, all right. But okay, so in choosing a college, did you always know you wanted to go to college?
I did.
Okay.
I think I knew that I needed to learn more.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then did you have a ton of options? Because you're in California too.
Yeah.
So like, how do you end up on the other side of the country?
That's a question I got all the time here, because it was like, why would you leave LA? No, my college, it was weird. It was an odd experience applying and things like that, because I did not know about SCAD at all. Because I didn't really know about anything on the kind of Eastern Coast except like NYU, Columbia. Yep. And the story it's terrible. I found out about SCAD through a viral TikTok.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the TikTok about?
It was a day in my life as a film student at SCAD. And it was someone who I think they must have graduated now like 3 years ago or something. But I was doing my college applications and I had like my top schools. I really wanted to go to like USC or something like that. Very traditional college football team. Yeah. Big. Yep. And I saw this TikTok. I was like, oh, I'll throw it on my list. And so I kind of applied without knowing anything about the school. Yeah. I was just like, oh, wow, this like girl seems interesting. Yep. It looks like they have a great program. And then when college decisions started coming out and things like that, I was rejected from a lot of the schools that I thought I would get into. And so it ended up being like spring break my senior year of high school. And I ended up touring all these schools on the East Coast that I never thought I would be going to because it's so far from home. And we hit we went up to Syracuse, New York, Chicago, and then Savannah. Okay. Yeah.
And then was there something on the tour, or was like what sold you on SCAD?
The funny thing is I was still so unsure. It was my mom who was like super sold. I loved New York because New York is incredible, but the school wasn't for me. And then I loved Chicago, but the school reminded me so much of my high school and I wanted a different experience. And then we came down. Savannah was the last place we went to, and it was like one of the last colleges I visited. And it was the SCAD day here. They had they roll out Art the Bee, and they tour you around and things like that, and they show you so many incredible things. And it looked really cool, but it was the complete opposite of what I applied for. It was the only art school I applied to. But my mom, my mom walked in and she was like, this is you. This is so you. This is the place. Like, I see you here. Like, you have to go here. Yeah. And I remember we were sitting at Collins Quarter on Broughton. Okay. And she was like, I think this is where you need to be. Like, I think this is it. And I'm sitting there like, it's Georgia. I don't think Are
you telling me something, Mom? No.
I was like, the closest I've been is Florida. I know nothing about this place. I know no one who's gone here or anyone who is going here. I don't know if I can pick up everything and move across country. But she was super like, this is it. I see you here. And so we kind of talked it over, and she was like, I think you should go here. And if you hate it, you can transfer. Yeah. And so I, came in the fall. I met some people online and things like that. And even still moving in, I was so nervous. I was like, I don't know, I'm from California. Yeah. But then I think I was here for 2 weeks, and I was like, oh, I'm not transferring. This is amazing.
It's so funny you say that, because I think when I did my tour, my dad was the one on tour with me, and he's like, this. I think this is what you want. Yeah. It was just because I was very especially grad school. It's there's a lot of money to just get another degree. Yeah. And I knew I needed more training, acting, if I wanted to even be in the industry, kind of thing. But yes, no, it was you're asking a lot, and also same with you. I'm from Wisconsin. I haven't been far away. I went to state school that was close to home, and now I'm going to Georgia. If something happens, I'm not a car drive away, you know? And so I think for me, that was like the big thing. But like you saying, like, I don't know, after like being here, it's like, oh yeah, no, this is what I need. Like it's, you feel like you're drowning immediately in a good way. Yeah. And then you're slowly swimming back up to the surface to catch up. But yeah. No.
And you hear so many people who are like, I knew this was the school I wanted from day one. Like I knew as a child, and it wasn't that for me, but it was once I got here and I met people who were so perfect for me, and like we got along, and then getting to like be on my first film set and the professors, it was like, okay, this is where I was supposed to end up.
So like, I don't know, I've talked to a lot of actors and not as many film students in their experience as like from freshman year to senior year. So like, I'd love to talk about your experience, like being that freshman on set, and how, like, what are you even allowed to touch? Because I know my undergrad, there was like levels, especially in the TV department. It was like, okay, like freshmen can touch this. They can work camera and teleprompter. That's it. And then it was like sophomore and junior, if you got the training, then you could be like on the floor, like head, and then you could start working on the switchboard. And then like junior, seniors, like now you're directing and assistant directing and all that kind of stuff, technical directing. But was that this experience here at SCAD, or are they very much like, no, we want you to like get your hands on it if you feel comfortable?
No, it was kind of that second thing, which is one of the reasons where I realized it was so good for me, because every other school I applied to, it was kind of that process you're describing, where you don't get to touch a camera or be on sets or do anything until you're a junior, senior.
Got you.
And SCAD, I think I was here for like 3 weeks and they threw me on a set, and it was insane. And I was a production assistant, which is kind of how you work your way up in the film department. But it was working with people who were so experienced already. And I got to touch a camera that was like, you know, they like hand you like a $30,000-$40,000 camera, teach you how to use it. You know, you're here for 3 weeks. But yeah, it was amazing.
So that first project you worked on, you were PAing.
Yes.
Was that just like a reaffirming that you wanted to be in film, or were like, and then was there any moments later on that you were on a set and you were like, is this what I like? You had a crisis moment, like, is this even what I want to do?
Well, that first set was one of the worst sets I've been on, but it was fabulous. It was amazing, and I met some really great collaborators I still work with now.
Okay.
But it was they don't do it anymore, but they used to do. One of the professors would have a collaboration project each quarter, where he would help. The department would get students to pitch a script, help fund it, and that professor would be the head and kind of pull people together.
Oh, that's cool.
And he'd work it like a real running set for a short film. And so that's what this was. And I saw it on like one of the bulletin boards SCAD puts up, and I registered, and I was like, didn't know anyone on this set. And it was a complete nightmare, but in a very amazing way. And so like the morning of, like, the transportation groups got screwed up, so my ride slept through their alarm, so I had to figure out how to like get from the Hive to the backlots as like a freshman. And then it was me and some other freshmen trying to do it. We get there and they're scrambling, running around because someone else had rented the space before, and then production design ended up being over budget, and then the director and the AD had some sort of past and were screaming at each other the whole set. And then they used a lot of SFX too, and so there was a lot of fake blood. And so the production assistants spent most of the set like scrubbing fake blood off. And it was like the professor had to come in at one point and like pull a few crew members aside and like be like, we got to work this out. Like they had like a little mini therapy session like halfway through the set.
Which I feel like is good, because like I think, you know, not everyone's strong suit is like those high tense, especially in a creative field, because like you're used to like having your time or your moment to like think about what you want, and when you're behind schedule or something's not working, it's like, how do you adapt to that, and are you good at that? Like, are you good under the gun? You know, like we talked about, I'm not good under the gun for spelling, so if you ask me to spell something, I'm gonna die. No. Okay, got you. So what was the first project here that you directed?
Oh my gosh, what was it? I think it was, I co-directed my Film 100 project. Okay. So the intro project we do, they build like a little team of like 5 or 6 of you, and you each kind of just take on a different role of what you did. And I ended up co-directing with one of the guys in my group, and it was just like a little 5-minute short about a guy being late for his job interview. And it was great. I mean, it was so weird because that group that I ended up having for my Film 100, we all went on to do very amazing things. So even the actor we had, who was, a freshman, it was his first project too. He's like now auditioning for Showcase and things like that. And he's doing all these big projects now. And like one of our guys is like really head of VFX. And he's doing that, and we have like an AD who's like constantly working. So it was like our group ended up being really strong later on.
That's
which
so
is
cool.
Really fun because no one expected us to kind of be in these places.
For sure. So that like junior, sophomore, they call it the sophomore slump, or just that where you're not the baby anymore, but you're not the top dog. Was that a trying time for you, or was that like you were just in the groove and you were on set every weekend working kind of vibe? And what was that experience for you?
Yeah, I've only been here 3 years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So did you come in with credits vibes, or
I came in with credits?
Okay,
yeah.
That makes sense.
Came in with credits, and I did a dual enrollment with community college. Oh. So I was taking community college classes while doing my SCAD coursework.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but I had sophomore, junior year together. No, there was so my sophomore, junior year are technically together, but I'll call it my sophomore year.
Yeah.
Winter quarter, I was taking 7 classes.
That's crazy.
And it was a complete nightmare, and I loved it.
Well, and like I think of my undergrad, right, and it was like a normal state school, so like you would take 5 classes, or like I would take 5 classes. I think it was like more like 4. But what SCAD's whole thing is like, hey, we want you on set Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it's like, so taking those 7 classes, it's like, yes, that's challenging in itself, but the expectation is that you're still doing stuff on the weekend. Yeah. And I think like when I hear people that are in like the grad program for film or whatever, that are like, yeah, no, I'm like finishing this at this school as well as doing my 3 classes here. I'm like, how are you functioning? Why are you here? You should be sleeping, But got you. So was that difficult, or were you still felt like you were able to do everything you wanted to?
It was difficult.
Yeah.
I did have to retake a class for community college. Yep. Yeah. I did have a great record at SCAD. My community college, not so much. But it was one of those things where in the moment it was kind of crazy and chaotic, and everyone was like, why are you doing this? But I was so glad to be doing it. And it was fun. I found like little pockets of time where I would do the work. Like even over summer I was working on a small feature, and I would be working on the feature, and then I'd go off, take my 30-minute lunch break, and I would take a test. And things like that.
That's crazy.
But I was working so much, so I was doing those kind of I was not so much in slump, but I was in like a grind mode because I felt like I had to kind of build my resume faster.
Got you.
And so I would hop onto projects. Not so much my fall quarter, but winter and spring was kind of where I realized I kind of got the groove of things. Like I found my footing. I know my team.
Yep.
And then once I kind of got my name like further out there, it was easier to jump on things because people would just ask instead of having to go out and seek and apply.
Okay, this is perfect. This is leading me. So we get to your senior year, which now I'm finding out is your junior year, which I think is crazy. You did a TV show.
Yes.
And from the sounds of it, it's not something that's common here at SCAD. Do you want to talk about your late night show?
Yeah.
Which I believe was Late Night Buzz. Is that what it's called?
Yes, that is my show.
So how did that come to be, and what was that production process?
Yeah, that was really interesting. It was really fun because it wasn't something I ever thought I would do. I didn't think I was going to like TV because I was so much like film.
Yep.
And that's all I had ever done. And I took our multicam class here. Yep. And I'm one of those people who is, I feel so bad when professors ask questions and like students don't answer.
Oh, same.
And so I'm always talking, like always. And that was one of those classes where people wouldn't so much raise their hands or anything like that. And so I got really close with that professor, and I had taken a few of his classes previously. And by spring quarter, I was taking his directing the narrative course.
Okay.
And I was doing a short film in there, and he approached me because he liked how kind of I would talk in class, and I was very collaborative, and I was very willing to kind of answer anything, or I asked a lot of questions. And he asked if I would ever want to do kind of a late night show. And they had done one previously a few years back, and it went really well. And it got a lot of accolades outside of SCAD. And so he asked, like, would this be something you're interested in? And I was like, 100%, like, I would love to. And I didn't realize at the time it was kind of like just putting a feeler out there. I thought it was like, go make a late night show.
Yeah, like, cool, you're doing it now.
And so that night, I called one of my best friends, who's also my producer, who I work with for everything. And I was like, let's make a late night show. And we went to her house, created an entire late night show idea, pitch deck and all. And the next day, we, like, presented it to him. And he was like, oh, wow. He was like, oh, that's great. We have to get it approved through the school.
Okay, yep.
But it was something we were so passionate about. And so we, like, that night, we, like, pulled together a team. And, like, I was like, this is who I want as my host. And it was the lead actress from my short film because she was so funny on set. And I was like, I think she can host really well. And I would, like, contact people like, do you know any writers and things? And so I had done that. And then after we pitched and he liked the concept, we worked on it over the summer. And then first week, fall quarter, he comes to us and he goes, hey, I have some bad news. SCAD is no longer funding these types of productions at all. And so they had cut the budget completely for any sort of talk show or sports network or any television series besides Lodged. And so he said, like, what do you want to do, kind of thing. And her and I, we just wanted to do this pilot so bad. Like, we were so passionate about it that we were like, screw it, we're gonna self-fund and we're gonna do it anyways. And that's kind of what we did. And we had so much, like, such an amazing crew and help from other departments. We pulled an advertising department and marketing. That's sick. And we pulled from motion media, and then we pulled from dramatic writing. And so we kind of got all these departments together, and we ended up self-funding and doing it.
Gotcha. How did you get connected with all of those different departments? Was it like you knew someone that knew someone, or did you knock on their door?
Yeah, a little bit of knocking on the door. It was like sheer just like sliding into Instagram DMs. Oh, it's something I do a lot, which I've, in the moment, it usually pays off towards the end, but it's very awkward in the moment.
Well, it's like that whole thing is like, are you comfortable being rejected?
Yeah.
You know? And if you're comfortable, like, why wouldn't you?
Oh, and that's something that I had to, like, learn too, of like, okay, we're gonna try for it, and we're gonna
copy and paste. Send. Yeah, copy and paste. Send. No,
exactly. Like, the rejection therapy is real. It works, but it was me, like, sliding into DMs, being like, "Hey, you have no idea who I am, but I saw you one time at this art show, and I loved your work. Yeah. Like, would you want to do this?" And from what I got from that is, like, almost everyone said yes. Yeah. Of, like, that is what they did. And so that's kind of what I still do now. I, like, will slide into people's DMs being like, you don't know me, but I love this. Like, would you want to do it? And that's how I met our head of advertising and marketing, who was absolutely incredible. Her and I spoke a little bit before freshman year and then lost touch, but I'd seen her work. And I was like, this is perfect for what I envision. Like, so I just Instagram DM'd her and I brought her on, and now we're really good friends, and she works on, like, all my projects.
Wow.
Yeah, and so it's incredible. And I did it for our head writer, too. Okay. So it was kind of like cold texting or DMing.
Wow, I gotta get into that. Well, you know what's interesting, like, especially like this show, a lot of times it's me running into someone and having a conversation and being like, oh, this person's interesting. Like, there's more to this person than what meets the eye. I want to know about it, whether that's, like, a selfish thing or not. You know? No. But I think, like, for me, like, I think there's, like, obviously there's, like, people that maybe I'm like, wow, if one day. And it's like, I eventually have to rip off that Band-Aid and be like, hey, like, my name's this, and I got this, but, you know, we'll get there sometime. I'm not there yet, but no. Okay, so you're self-funding this now. Yeah. Was that an easy process or no?
It was easier than most because SCAD did provide a lot of the resources for us. So they let us use the shell of the previous production set, which was great because we didn't have to, like, try and build it.
Was that in Studio A? Did you do it in Studio A? Oh.
We did it in Studio A. It was in front of the Lodge set.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. And so we had the shell of it, and we just rebuilt it, kind of thing. Added our own touches to it and repainted it and kind of reset decorated it. And then we did it pretty cheaply because we could kind of operate within school hours, and we did the television thing, which is 9 to 5 instead of 12-hour days.
Okay.
Got the location for free.
Yep.
But it was a lot of like asking for favors and help,
Yeah.
and people were really gracious about it. And, you know, we ended up returning those favors later on.
Well, I think what's interesting too is like there's so much film here and there's so much stage. There's not a lot of TV, at least from what I know.
Yeah.
Where it's like there would have to be a lot of interest of like, oh, this is my chance for my purpose, my resume, like to have something that's just different. Like, and this is the only chance I'm going to get. So sign me up. I want to be a part of this, you know? And I wondered if that's something you felt from the people, like energized, ready to do something different, or...
No, definitely. I mean, a big part of it when we were finding crew was asking favors of friends, but I would go into classrooms at the same time, like every Tuesday, Thursday, and walk into this classroom and I'd give this little pitch of like, we are looking for people who want to be a part of this project. Yep. Like, these are our hours. And we did get some response from that, but a big part was after people kind of saw what we could do, they realized that that was something they wanted to do too. So, I mean, rumor has it that people are trying to do more of this stuff now. So like, there are going to be hopefully more talk shows and like television pilots.
Well, and the fact that like you kind of can say we brought that back, you know. No, I thought like when you had reached out, I was like, that's so cool, and I think I was just so like drowning. I was like, I can't think of anything else I could be doing right now. But no, I think like that seeing that and then getting to see the promotion, kind of like what you were saying, which makes sense that you brought students from the advertising to like. And just like to see that and be like, wow, like this is real. Like this is something that's gonna be so killer and stellar, and whatnot. And I guess for you, did the production go the way that you hoped it? Was it taped multiple times? Or did you have one shot at it?
Yeah, we ended up taping it 3 times. We taped our dress rehearsal and then we had 2 shows. Okay. And then we ended up, the take we used was our first show that we did, which was great. But we mixed and matched it a little bit. So you can't tell in the edit, but like certain moments we take from different versions of the show. It went really, really good. I was nervous because it was something that hadn't been done in a while, and I felt like there were a lot of eyes on the project. But it was so fabulous. I mean, our crew was just absolutely incredible, and people I still work with because of how amazing it went. But it was a really fun time. Like, we had our alumni come down who, like, again, an Instagram DM I did. But I asked these actors who, you know, went to the school, had graduated, who had never heard of me. Okay. And I just kind of reached out and I said, this is what I'm doing. You know, I know you don't know me, but I love your work. Like, would you be willing to come down and do it? And they did. They came down and, you know, SCAD helped us put them up in the Magnolia house. Okay. And they got to like kind of tour and everything, their old alma mater. That's and so cool. They did the show and it was great.
So this show, was this in winter or was this fall?
Winter. It was like second week of January.
Okay. And that's what I was curious. Yeah. Okay. Because I was going to say, because I know I got the opportunity to go to Lodge. And then when I was looking on the floor and I saw you over at the what do they call that?
Video Village.
Okay. What's in the back then?
That's the booth.
Okay. Yeah. You know what's interesting? Video Village for me in my undergrad was the booth.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And so that's why I was like, I honestly don't know what they call that because I call Video Village the booth, but okay, that makes sense. Because I saw you down there and I was like, oh wait, that makes sense. I was like, and so for you, how did that come to be? How did you have that opportunity or get that opportunity?
Yeah, it was the same professor who had approached me, but it was kind of after the talk show. So it was seeing what I had done on the talk show, being like, okay, like my faith put in her was well received. And so they asked me, they actually left it open-ended. They asked me what role I'd want to do because I produced too. And so they asked me which I would want to do, and I really wanted to direct. Yeah. Because I hadn't had an opportunity to do that for this kind of thing before. And so I said yes. And it was great because he had so much trust in me, which is fabulous because he really pushed the department for me because Mark and Andrew had never heard of me. And so they had never met me, didn't know anything about me. Yeah. DW was traveling for work and didn't know me either. And so it was just, you know, Professor Greg Viens who was like, this is the student, and they were like, are you sure? Like, okay.
Was that something that they always usually have student directors direct, or was this a new thing?
It started, I don't know for previous past television episodes, but I definitely know it did start with Lodged.
Okay.
Because they had the first director and second director.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I was told from those previous directors was it kind of changed a little each time. And so the first time they had like a student director work with Mark, it was more Mark kind of leading the production and things like that. And then as the second director came in, she stepped in and really like directed, and she kind of pushed back a little bit and got to have her vision come to life, and she paved the way for me to come in.
Okay.
And then I got to do a lot of what I wanted to do with the production.
Got you. What were some of those things that you felt like was your touch to the show?
Yeah, I mean, certain jokes, it was great because the writer's room, I mean, the writing department's so incredible here, and just all their professors are amazing. But like Avery Stork and things like that, she really wanted me to voice my opinion and stuff. So she would let me kind of give critiques back to the script and the writers and bring in. And so that was great because I got to pick some of the jokes. And I do remember there was a little pushback from Mark on one of the jokes, but I got it in there. It was my choice. I wanted to keep it. It was great. And so it was really supportive, but I did end up having like to pick some of the jokes and some of the actions and stuff that our actors do. And things like that. But it was such a great cast.
I got to see it. I think or something happened where I was like, wait, I'm open. I can go to it.
Yeah.
And so I got to see it, and I got lucky because I think I came in, I was like towards the end of the line for the first group that went in. And as the bleachers filled, they realized there was like one spot open on the first floor or the first like row. And so they're like, you sit there. And I was like, let's go. Because I know there's a creaky bench way in the top. And I was like, please don't put me on the creaky bench. Because I'm a shifter, which if you can't tell, I'm over here just like this. And
I know we're matching each other's energy. I do that so much.
No. And so then I remember, and I think that was the first time I got to see like the long boom arms on set, like, 'cause I've never seen that before. It's always been like a student doing this, or it was just like a lav mic kind of thing. Was that part of the I guess like what was your role as director? Yes, you worked with the script and you worked with the professors that were on other departments, and whatnot. What else did you have to take on? Like, was it the camera shots? Was it like where the booms were placed?
Yeah, so the way they structured it here is very much how they do television, where Mark and Andra are the showrunners.
Gotcha.
And so it was a class, and so they worked with those actors individually on their performance and helping craft the character. The actors would go to the writers and help kind of craft the character through the writing as well. And then when I stepped in, my primary focus was blocking everything. So blocking how each scene would go. I would give notes on performance sometimes, but that was mostly Mark taking on that role. And then I work with my camera coordinator to kind of set up shots and things like that.
Got you. That's fascinating. Okay, wait, can you talk about like if someone was on set, how is that process? Like what is the process of doing a television episode or,
Yeah. For TV, directing is a lot different because it's not your vision. It's the showrunner, and you're working directly with the showrunner and the team because you step in and out.
Okay.
But the actors are there. It's their show. For this episode, it was a little different because everyone was new in the cast but Drake.
Yes.
But typically it would be, the same set of actors, the same set of camera crew, all of that. Like you're the new person on the television series. But they bring you in and you work with the actors on blocking. When it comes to multicam specifically, that's really hefty.
What makes that hefty just with the multicam with blocking?
Well, specifically, it's more theatrical. So I always say to actors, like, multicam performance is basically theater, but you're being recorded. So you're facing out to each other. It's very much cheating. It's kind of performing for an audience where, film and television, it is like, you don't have to act necessarily outwardly as much because the camera captures everything.
Yes.
So it's very theatrical, which is why I loved it.
Yeah.
And so it felt like I was theater directing again, where it was kind of working under someone, but also getting to put my touches in. And then, the previous episode had that director's kind of influence to it as well.
Got you. Okay. So that's a little bit of that. So then what was that was there like a final moment where you're like, okay, we lock picture, or like, this is how we do it? Or was it just like it's kind of fluid throughout the whole entirety?
Yeah, I think certain scenes were easier to get down than others.
Okay.
This one was really complicated. I mean, even from our camera team and people who had been there previously, the last 2 episodes, although it was an ensemble cast, the ensemble wasn't on stage together for every scene like usual. So you wouldn't have to focus on them. This one, it was like 7, 8 characters. And
that was my question too. Was like, so you were like saying multicam, right? Like, are people covering camera often? And you're like, okay, blocking. This is my role. You guys gotta like cheat this, even though you naturally wouldn't be here. Like, we have to pretend like you are, and it works. No.
During rehearsal, it's a lot of like, if you ever come to a multicam rehearsal, it's a lot of stopping and starting.
Okay.
So we pause actors in the middle of what they're doing, and we're like, move left, move right, step back. But they got it down so well because they're so professional.
Yep.
But it was framing shots too. So like, because we had so many characters on screen at the same time, we had to establish those relationships really early on to see where they'd be. So we had our 3 sisters, which were played by Stella, Annie, and Kate, and those 3 would often be together. And then Siren and Joanna, which was Joanna being our mother and Siren kind of being the butler sidekick, they were often paired together.
Okay.
And then Drake and Michael, although not initially in the script, they ended up becoming kind of a duo together.
Yes.
Because we needed those 2 characters to kind of be near each other.
Okay. That's interesting. So like, would that be like a camera decision to be like, hey, we just can't cover if they're not with each other? So that means we're only picking up one of them, and we're gonna have to alternate. And I don't think you want that. You're like, okay, that's fascinating. As I'm like, I'm picturing this show. Wait, can people see Lodge? Is there a way for people to watch it or no?
The first 2 episodes, I just know they went to TV Fest. I think they should be up on YouTube somewhere.
Okay.
We're editing the 3rd episode right now.
Okay. When does that 3rd episode come out?
Ooh, that's a great question. I know
10,000 years.
No, we're going into post-production for summer. And then, I mean, Lodged comes out every TV Fest. So it'll likely be done before winter, but won't be premiered until January, February.
Okay. All right. Got you. And I bet you're so excited to have that on your reel. And it's gonna
I know. I'm like, wait, I had to like make my little demo reel, and I'm like, guys, I want the footage.
That's so cool. Yeah, no, I think like it's your version of SCAD, I think, is very different than other film students, just in the way that you worked your way into rooms or just met people. And obviously you, through your talent, proved that like I'm meant to be here, you know. As you're wrapping up SCAD and graduating this week, does it feel real that your time here is done, or?
No, it's so weird. I feel like it's not going to hit me until I come back and I'm like, oh, I don't have classes or anything. But I'm like doing all the process and things, but I'm so involved on the school still and like in the projects and, you know, with Lodged post-production happening and everything with like festivals. It's like I'm still so attached to the school kind of in my work and things like that. So I feel like it's not going to hit me until that first day of classes happen and I'm not walking into Arnold Hall for a gen ed.
No, for sure. Where does film have most of their classes?
Right now, I had a lot of classes out the back lot, but Hamilton Hall was...
Okay, so it's Hamilton and back lot kind of vibes. Yeah. Because ours is Kreitz and Hamilton, which is just interesting. But was there a space that you ended up using the most as like a director that SCAD had?
Oh. Probably the Lodge set, even when I wasn't on Lodge. Because the set's been up for as long as I've been here. I think it went up my sophomore year. And so that set was like my second home. I was always on that set.
Got you. And I was curious because I know they have like Studio A and B. And I was curious like if film students use those spaces often to film like their scenes or whatnot, or is it like, let's go to the back lot because it's got everything we need kind of vibes?
No, I feel like we do use a lot of that space, especially if you want to use the multicam cameras and things like that.
Oh, true.
But yeah, I mean, it's awesome because the school has been great about letting us transform that too. So like a couple people have filmed other television pilots of their own creation on the Lodge set, but have changed the Lodge set to be something completely different.
Yes. Well, I know like when we did West Side Story, we originally were going to do it on the Lodge set. And then there was like, well, can we really say that we're in New York City in the 1950s when we have a big elk skeleton head Like it just doesn't feel the vibe of it. And so like literally the last day that we had for tech, we're like, what if we flipped it to make it like a black box, which I think worked really well. But I know it's interesting because like for my thesis, we're talking about like, hey, where would we, do it? And I think SCAD, don't quote me, allegedly is obviously switching up sets this coming year. Yes. So we're like, okay, like we can't bank on it being the Lodge set, right? And I don't know what that next show will be or what they do. I hear rumblings of things, but nothing's in stone. But it's interesting because it's like, well, what if we just flipped it to do the black box? Yeah. In that. But I don't know. I think it's so cool. As much as sometimes it feels like SCAD is like no, they do say yes to a lot of stuff. And I wonder if that's just because there's so many students trying to do so many projects. Oh, yeah. They're trying to keep it straight. And like it's kind of like our law where it's like as soon as something happens or you pass a law or something, it's like now everyone they're gonna go right back to that and be like, well, you let this group do it, why? And it's like I'm sure they're just like, okay, wait, what do we say yes to so that it doesn't come back and bite us? Did you ever have troubles like with like spaces and whatnot, or like, and it doesn't even have to be SCAD related, but it could be like, oh, like we had this film, we showed up, and all of a sudden they were like, what are you doing here? And it's like, you told us that we could film. They're like, no, we didn't.
No, I ran into locations have been difficult, especially this year. Okay. I ran into that a lot with my other thesis project of like trying to find a location that was perfect and then them telling me like, we don't allow student sets anymore because this happened, and being like, but that's not me, like kind of thing. But within SCAD, I think I established myself as very like, I'm respectful kind of thing. And so I made those great connections with the people who control that. Yes. Yep. And that was kind of what helped me definitely. No. Yeah. Like I remember, people would be like, oh, this person's so harsh on like this location, we can't get it. And I was like, I got that location.
I've never had that issue before. Actually, we just hung out the other. No,
exactly. I was like, really? We're friends.
That's so funny.
So like, I was very grateful to have that be great, but like with other things, it's hard in Savannah. It is.
Got you. Looking back, was there? I know we've touched on so many projects, and we talked about like what was maybe one of the hardest projects that you worked on. Yeah. What was when you leave here, what's that project that you're going to be like, that was everything. I put everything into it,
I mean, I think there's a lot. I'm really excited about an upcoming project I'm doing. Okay. Because that's really exciting for me.
Is this over the summer or end of this?
End of this year. End of the year.
Cool.
Can I talk about it a little bit?
Go for it. Yeah. I just didn't want to push it in case I can't talk about it. I just wanted to tell you I'm excited about it. No, I'd love to. Let's dive into it.
I'm producing a feature film mockumentary with a friend of mine. It's their concept that they've had for years. My head writer from Late Night Buzz. Okay. And Lodged. Right. Yep. So one of those connections that I made, and they approached me and kind of pitched this idea. And I was staying in Savannah for another year, and so I decided to take it on. And so I'm lead producing the project, which is great because I haven't had the opportunity to do something that big scale yet from that kind of production role. And it's really fun because I've learned, like, part of the job is I'm like, oh my gosh, I get to pick people I really love and want to work with. Yeah. And so we're building this crew that's really great and everything.
Handpicking everyone.
Yeah, handpicking. Yep. And it's fun. It's a comedy mockumentary about a group of haunted house workers. Yeah. And so we're going to be shooting in the fall. We're going to do like dual camera. It's like 360 set decorating. Kind of working within the city of Savannah. And so I'm very excited about that because I think that's a project that I feel like is going to test my skills a little bit, but also be something it's my first in-school project.
Got you. Is that something where you've already cast, like you're like, we are so locked in, or is that, or you like, no, we're still in the early stages of it?
No, we already cast. Okay. And that casting process was absolutely incredible. Yep. We had the most auditions I've ever seen, which was amazing. Yep. But we're announcing later this week, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it was, oh my gosh, how many? I think we had 80 auditions.
Wow. Is this just SCAD, or did you open it up to?
We opened it up, but it ended up being, I think we had a few outside people, but it was SCAD Savannah and SCAD Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. but it was crazy. I had never gotten to like go through that many auditions and had that. It was so fun.
Was it a process of watching the actors and be like, yep, that's that character? Or did you have it narrowed down and then it was just like that process of like, okay, who fits best with this person? And
yeah, I mean, I think there was only one actor of our bunch who, like, from first self-tape, like, that was that character. Like, and they don't know that, of course.
Yes, no, we will never tell them.
No, we'll never tell them. But from the first audition tape, we had a lot of people audition. The roles were pretty slit, so it was like probably 20 per character auditions.
Oh, nice.
But this one character, like, from the self-tape, it was like that is that character. But we brought a few more people in for callbacks, and then callbacks happened, and it was like, that is still that was the character.
gut. Yeah, the gut decision. We should have stayed with that.
Yeah, exactly. But for everyone else, it was so fun because we got to see such a range of people because the characters weren't as established because we're kind of writing them around our actors as well.
Okay.
And so we got to bring so many different people in, kind of mix and match them up. And then a big part of our audition process was we did improv takes.
Oh,
so we got to see kind of actors in their element, and that was a big part of our casting where we thought people were super great for a role and things like that, and then someone else would come in and then their improv take was so incredible that was what led us to them.
Got you. Is this a script that's going to be more fluid, or is it like, nah, like these are the jokes, like we need to hit this mark.
Yeah.
Like, have you decided on what kind of style it's going to be?
Yeah, so we have the script is going to be kind of written out very formally, and then when we're shooting it, it's going to be one clean take, one take with improv, and then we'll kind of pick from there. So a big part of it is, and it's fabulous, we're bringing on an improv consultant for set and for rehearsals.
Yep.
So someone who can kind of work with the actors to build their character, build this world, and then be on set kind of giving them questions and things like that to make the takes a little different.
What's a rehearsal process for a project like this?
I mean, that's interesting because I think me and the director are kind of both going to find out a little bit.
Okay,
but,
all right, yep.
Part of it is we're doing it very much like a theatrical rehearsal where the actors kind of build their characters in the world. They're going to work with our writer's room to build that out.
Yep.
And then we've kind of consulted with like David Stork and those professors to see how we can kind of help them in this sense. And so rehearsing from what our improv consultant kind of talked about was like helping by asking questions, being on set, giving them like prompts almost. So it's very playful, and that's my favorite part about producing and directing, being on set, is getting to play with actors like that in the sense. And so I'm really excited because I think it's just gonna be such a fun environment.
That's so cool. Are there any other projects that you're looking forward to, or is this the one that's like in the front windshield?
I mean, this one's in the front windshield, definitely. I'm very proud of some of the other stuff we've just wrapped up. I had a crazy secondary thesis experience. And so I'm very proud of like where that landed and things like that. It was, my other thesis was a horror narrative originally.
Okay. And other thesis, meaning the first thesis was that the late night? Did you use that as your original? Okay.
That was my first thesis. My second thesis was
And you guys have to do multiple theses? Is this me learning this? Or okay.
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, wait, this is crazy. That's so much work.
No. You don't have to do multiple theses. I think I'm a little crazy sometimes, and I like to take on projects.
That makes sense.
No, it was a narrative horror that I wrote, completely different from this other work I was doing. And then a week before shooting my thesis, I got sick. And so I ended up working with, my team was so fabulous. I ended up working with my team. We completely rewrote it to shoot a music video in a single day. And it was one of the most insane experiences I had of my life. And it was so much leaning on other people to kind of help in that sense. But they were so incredible.
Is that something that was that new to you, to really have to lean on someone else or someone else's vision or working with? Yeah. Because you just couldn't do it? Was that like a newer experience of like letting go of something that you held so dearly?
Oh, yeah. It was definitely a learning process. It was something I never thought I would have to do. And it was something where I was very upset about in the moment, because it was not what I envisioned whatsoever. And I had been working so long on it. And I was really worried about my team and like how that would kind of affect them. But they were so incredibly supportive. And that's what I love about SCAD too, is how supportive the people are here, especially when you kind of find your group. But they took on this new assignment with like just like open hearts and open minds. And then when we got on set, everyone was very like supportive of me and very much a collaborative project because it shifted and had to be. Got you.
That's so cool. Yeah. So that was your second thesis.
Yes.
When did that shoot? Was that the spring?
No, that was also winter. It was.
Girl was just crazy in the winter.
Week after my talk show.
Really? What?
Yes.
That's crazy.
I shot Late Night Buzz. That night, we had a little celebration.
Okay.
Next morning, I had like a chronic illness flare up.
Dang.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? I got sick winter. I think it was winter. I got sick with a virus.
Yes. Something was going around.
Yeah, and it was wild because 2 years ago I had just like gotten, I think I had like walking pneumonia or something like that. So I got like cooked because of that. So now I have this like internal fear of like I have to like I can't swallow like snot or saliva or anything. I'm like, because it's just gonna build up and I'm gonna die, you know.
Yeah.
But then I thought that I was like, oh, I must be getting like something related to that because I'm feeling, you know, down and whatnot. And then finally it got worse and it stayed so long. I was like, my mom was like, you have to go in. And so then I went in and they're like, we think it's, you just got this like insane. And there was one night where I couldn't sleep. Every bone and muscle ached in my body. And I just laid there and I was sweating.
It's the worst.
And it wasn't even hot, it was cold, and I'm just like, I couldn't sleep, and I just like feel like I had to throw up even though I couldn't because I didn't eat anything. And I'm just like, this is so terrible. And kind of like what you were saying, like this is the first time I've lived far from home, so it's like I didn't, and there's like, as you live by yourself, it's like, oh, there's no one to make sure that you're fine. You know, it's kind of up to you, which I think is why my mom's like, go to the urgent care, please. Like, let's receive, we can figure this out. But and then it eventually left, so that was in the chat. But
no, I was so much like that. I'm like, anytime I get like the remote like feelings of sickness, I'm like, all right, we gotta get through this. We gotta pound the water. Like, what can I take that'll make me better right away? And this was one of those things where it was like the first time where I really was like sick and I didn't know what to do, or like, you know, I'm so far from home and everything like that. So it was really great because I had so many amazing friends who were kind of helping me during this and who were so incredible. But it was one of those things where, you know, in the moment it was terrible. I hated it. But I look back on it now and I'm like, that's so crazy that I pulled it off. Yeah. And I could do it.
I just like, and it kind of goes back to just like, there's some people here at SCAD that I'm just like, you're built different. Like, and it's in an oppressive way. And it just sounds like you're built different, like especially that winter corner to like take on the class load that you are and do 3 major productions. Like, it's not like they're small 100 level productions. It's like, no, you're doing not only your 2 theses but also like one of SCAD's pride and joy, so you have that pressure on as well, you know. And it was like fantastic.
Thank you.
So is there anything coming up projects wise that you want to talk about? Graduation's coming around the corner.
Yes.
Are you excited for that, to walk across the stage?
I'm very excited.
You know, it's funny, like for me, high school, when my senior year was 2020.
Yeah. Oh.
So I didn't get to walk across the stage. So I think for me, my graduating undergrad was like, oh, this is cool, because like I didn't get to experience that. You know, as much as you're like, it happens and that's the world, you're kind of like, I never got to experience that. Like, that was a big deal.
My school was so different the way we did graduation. So I never had a graduation gown or anything. Oh. And so that was like so exciting for me. And I got my cords, which were great because I had never had that, or my little hat. I mean, it looks terrible, but I love it. And so that was really exciting for me because I was like, this is such a classic graduation. And that wasn't what my high school or middle school was. So it was I'm really excited about that. I have no idea what's going to happen either. I'm like, this is going to be great. I'm going to figure out when I get there at 7 a.m.
Do you what's your plans post-graduation?
Yeah. I'm heading back to LA for the summer. Okay. And I'm traveling a little bit.
Nice. That's fun.
Yeah, it's always great. It's my favorite thing to do. And so I'll travel a little bit. I'm going to a film festival while I'm abroad, which is great.
Oh, that's sick.
And I love doing that. I love just going to watch movies. And so I'll do that. And then I get back and I'm just kind of working my day job.
Yeah.
And then picking up little odd gigs here and there while in pre-production for the feature.
Yep.
And then I'm coming back to Savannah. And again, day job. And then working on this feature. And then I've started to bring on a couple other projects as well.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to see what you take on this next year. As I look on like what's happened this year for me, it's like it's crazy like what can happen in a year, you know. And now that you you're here still in the area with SCAD, but it's like you're no longer owned by SCAD because you have everything they've given you. And so I'm just like curious to see what will happen in the year. Like, do we see you walking the red carpet in Hollywood? You know, just like things like that. It's like
I would love that.
Call me. No.
Yeah. We'll knock on wood for that one.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you so much for coming on this show and giving us your time to like not only learn about you, but just like I feel like especially for this audience sake, like a whole nother media that like isn't an expertise of myself, you know, and whatnot. Mike, thanks for always helping out with the show. I appreciate it.
Of course, brother. Put some steak on it.
Thank you for having me. This is so fun.
Thank you. We could take camera too. Thanks everyone for watching. If you made it this far, consider dropping a like, subscribe to the channel, all the good stuff, and we will see you next week. Peace.